A second-hand gift card felt like a slap in the face. I sat motionless, while my family's laughter echoed through the posh restaurant where we gathered for my 30th birthday. My name is Kara, and at that moment, I decided to change my family's opinion of me once and for all. "Come on, don't be offended," said my older sister Ava, wiping away tears of laughter. "It's perfect for you and your frugal lifestyle." I forced a smile, clutching the cheap plastic card so tightly that it bit into my palm. The restaurant's crystal chandeliers sparkled above me, mocking the $10 Goodwill gift card that lay in front of me. "Thank you," I said, trying to keep my voice calm despite the rage building up inside. How carefully my mother Bridget intervened, adjusting the pearl necklace, "Since you are so frugal about money, you might like something practical." My brother Lloyd chuckled into his champagne glass. "Yes, sister, now you can buy all those used jackets for your investment bank interviews that you fail all the time. If only they knew that I live in my modest apartment, bring in a used Honda, and wear second-hand clothes not because I have to, but because I chose it myself. Every cent I've saved over the past 8 years has gone straight into carefully thought-out investments, while they assumed I was failing in life. I have accumulated a fortune that they could not even dream of." Speaking of work, my father Malcolm intervened, barely looking up from his phone. "Lloyd's just closed another big deal at Clayton Corp. for $10 million in revenue." He finally looked at me. "Maybe he can get a good word for you at their post office." The laughter got even louder. I took a long sip of water, remembering the notification I received this morning about the valuation of my last stock portfolio. "Actually," I said, putting down my glass, "I wanted to tell you all something." "Oh my God, this is Melissa Chen." Suddenly Ava screamed, pointing at someone in the restaurant. "She just became a partner at Goldman. I'm going to say hello." And that's how I was forgotten again, while my family was discussing Ava's chance encounter with her successful former classmate. Eric, my best friend and restaurant manager, caught my eye from across the room. Eric knew he was the only one who knew. Approaching our table with professional tact, he asked, "Is everything all right with your lunch?" "Everything is fine," my mother exclaimed. "We're celebrating Kara's birthday. But to be honest, at the age of 30, I would like to celebrate more than just another year." She waved her hand vaguely, indicating my whole life. Hysteric's jaw tightened, but his smile remained unchanged. "Actually, Mrs. Burns," he began, but I interrupted him with a slight nod of my head. "It's not time yet." "The food is great, Eric, thank you," I said quietly when he walked away. Lloyd's phone rang excitedly, his face lit up as he read the message. "Dad, that Clayton Corp deal we were worried about seems to be going through. Some mysterious investor bought a controlling stake." My father frowned. "That could be a problem, son. Be careful." I could barely contain a smile, thinking about the documents that were in the safe of my home office. Signatures that were still drying. "They'll make me Lloyd's boss." "Don't worry," I said. Getting up, I started to pack my things. "Are you leaving already?" my mother asked with disappointment. "We haven't even served dessert yet." "Someone has to work tomorrow," I replied, leaving $100 on the table for Eric. "Thank you for lunch and for the gift card." As I was leaving, I heard Ava exclaim behind me, "God, how sensitive she is." It was just a joke. But for me it's not a joke anymore. 8 years of careful planning, living below your means, secretly building an empire, all of this will soon pay off. They thought the second-hand gift card was funny. Wait until they find out that I own a company that symbolizes everything they value. I went out into the bright afternoon sun, took out my phone to call my lawyer. It was time to set my plans in motion. "Happy birthday to me," I whispered, pressing the call button. The phone rang twice before the connection was established. "Done?" I asked. "Congratulations, Miss Burns. You are now a major shareholder in the Clayton Corporation." I ended the call and smiled, thinking about the gift card in my wallet. It will be an ideal bookmark for documents about the purchase of the company. Let them laugh for now. That evening Eric came to my apartment with a bottle of expensive champagne and 2 glasses. "I thought you deserved a real birthday celebration after that disaster dinner," he said, entering the house and pushing aside a stack of financial documents that I was studying. My modest one-room apartment was very different from the luxurious mansions of my family, but it fulfilled its role, allowing me to maintain visibility while I built my fortune. "You should have seen their faces when you left," Eric said, opening the champagne. "Your mother spent 20 minutes explaining to everyone how worried she is about your financial situation." I laughed as I accepted the glass. If she only knew that I could buy her house tenfold. Talking about shopping, Eric settled down on my shabby sofa. "Did everything go well with the Clayton Corporation?" "Officially, since 2 hours ago," I replied, taking out my laptop and showing him the confirmation emails. "The board of directors doesn't know who I am yet. They only know that their new main shareholder works through a holding company, and Lloyd has no idea that his older sister is going to become his boss." Eric leaned forward, studying the screen. "This is a serious game of cara chess. 8 years of planning." I took a sip of champagne. "Every time they mocked me for my savings, every time they neglected my career choices, I built for it." My phone was vibrating from a text message from Ava. "I hope you're not too upset about the gift card. You know, we're just trying to help you get on with your life." Eric read the message over my shoulder and snorted. "To help by humiliating you. They're always like that," I said, tossing the phone aside. "Do you remember when I graduated from university with honors in finance? They spent the entire ceremony discussing Lloyd's new promotion. And now I own his company." Eric raised his glass to karma. The champagne burned in my throat. "It's not just about karma. I'm going to Clayton corporate headquarters tomorrow morning to meet with the board of directors. They are expecting some kind of brutal corporate raider, and they will meet a girl who was underestimated by everyone." "What's your exact plan?" I took out a folder with organizational charts and financial forecasts. "Lloyd's department has been losing money for years. It has been protected by connections, but this will end now. I'm going to reorganize everything." "Are you going to fire him?" "No," I smiled. "I'm going to make him earn his position for the first time in his life." My phone rang. My mother's face was glowing on the screen. I sent it to voicemail. "They're probably planning another intervention," Eric said. "Do you remember the one they arranged when you refused to take that job at your father's firm?" "The best decision I've ever made." I got up and went to the window, looking at the city lights. They thought I was crazy, starting from the bottom in a trading firm, instead of rolling down Dad's skirts. And now I'm worth more than all of them combined. Eric joined me at the window. "But, Kara, are you sure you want to do this? Once you open up, there's no going back." "Look at me," I turned to face him. "Tomorrow morning, I will enter that meeting room as their new owner. I'm going to start implementing the changes next week, and exactly 1 month later, at the quarterly family dinner, I'm going to tell them everything." Eric's expression became serious. "You know, it's not just Lloyd that's going to be affected, it's your whole family." "My whole family needs to be woken up," I said, pulling a second-hand gift card out of my purse and pinning it to the bulletin board. "They think that success only looks like theirs. It's time to show them they're wrong." "What about us?" Eric asked quietly after all this. I met his gaze. "You are the only one who has always believed in me. It means a lot." The moment froze between us, full of possibilities, but my phone rang again. A letter from the board of directors of Clayton Corp confirming tomorrow's meeting. "I have to go," Eric said, "pack your things. You need to rest before tomorrow." At the door he stopped and added, "Just be careful, okay? Revenge can be fun, but it can consume you." "It's not just about the place," I replied. "It's about justice, and, perhaps, finally, about respect." After he left, I stayed in my apartment, surrounded by evidence of my secret life. Investment reports, corporate documents, and years of careful planning. Tomorrow everything will change. I touched the gift card on the board, feeling its cheap plastic under my fingers. Thanks for the motivation, I whispered to my absent family. My phone vibrated for the last time, reminding me of tomorrow's meeting with the board of directors. I set the alarm, laid out my business suit and smiled. It's time to show them who the real Kara is. I was reviewing the purchase documents at my favorite coffee shop when Ava's shadow fell on my chair. My sister's footsteps clicking on the floor in designer heels as she uninvited pulled out a chair. It's funny to meet you here, she said, although there was nothing in her tone to indicate that. Especially considering that the cafe is 20 blocks from your apartment. I slowly closed the laptop. I like their coffee. Stop the comedy, Kara. Ava leaned forward, her perfectly manicured nails tapping on the table. I saw you yesterday walking out of Clayton Corp headquarters in a suit that's clearly not second-hand. My heart was pounding, but I kept a neutral expression on my face. I had an interview, really. She took out her phone. Because I called Lloyd and he said something interesting was going on at work. A mysterious new investor was buying shares. And then I remembered how you've been acting lately. All those secret phone calls. You followed me, protecting my family, she chuckled, but the smile did not reach her eyes. I also called my dad's friend at SI. I did a little digging in the latest stock purchases, and I felt the blood leaving my face. This is confidential information. Nothing is confidential when you have the right connections. Her voice dropped to a whisper. What are you up to, little sister? You're trying to hurt Lloyd's career to make yourself feel better. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't know. She took out her phone and showed me the letter. According to this, a holding company registered to a Delaware mailbox has just become the largest shareholder of Clayton Corp. The same mailbox is linked to several other investment accounts that have been quietly accumulating wealth over the years. My coffee got cold while I was looking at her. How did you know that? I'm not as stupid as you think. Ava's smile has become predatory, and unlike you, I don't need to hide my success. That's what's going to happen. You sell these shares or I'll tell everyone what you're up to. This is blackmail. It's a family. She stood up, adjusting her designer bag. You have 24 hours to start the process. Otherwise, I'll call a family meeting. And believe me, they won't like to find out that their charity case has been deceiving them all these years. When she turned to leave, I found my voice. You're afraid. She stopped. I'm sorry. You're scared because for the first time, you can't control the situation. I stood up, matching her heels. Scared because your little sister might be more successful than you. Not funny. How's your divorce going, Ava? I watched her flinch. Those assets that you hid from your ex-husband, those that Dad helped you protect, it would be bad if someone revealed this information. Her face paled. You wouldn't dare. Try to stop me. I packed up my laptop, keeping a calm tone. If you go after my investments, I will go after yours, and unlike you, I have real evidence. It's not over yet, she hissed. You're right, this isn't the end. But you struck the first blow by giving me that card. Everything that happens next is on your conscience. I left the cafe. My hands were shaking when I called Eric. She knows everything, I said when he answered. Ava understood everything, as far as she knows. Enough to be dangerous. I stopped a taxi, but I have trumps. She won't say anything yet, at least not right away. Kara. Eric's voice was worried. Maybe it's a sign that it's time to stop, to leave before. Before what? Before I finally stand up for myself. Before I show them who I really am. There was a long pause before someone really got hurt. They've been hurting me for years. I gave the driver the address of the Clayton Corporation. I won't back down. The restructuring meeting is in 2 hours. By then Coco will have decided what to do, it will be too late. Where are you going? Doing what I should have done years ago. I watched the city flash by the window. I'm going to show my older sister what her connections are. Not the only ones that matter. I ended the call and took out the meeting agenda. The first point. Overview of the work of Lloyd's department. Let Ava threaten, she's not the only one who knows how to play this game. And unlike her, I have nothing to lose. The taxi pulled up to the gleaming tower of Clayton Corp. As I got out, my phone vibrated with a message from Ottawa. Last chance, little sister. Don't make me destroy you. In 2 words. Try harder. Then I straightened up, straightened my jacket, and walked through the revolving doors. It's time to show my family what the black sheep is capable of. The board meeting was tough. Through a video conference, I watched as 12 faces became increasingly uncomfortable when I outlined the inefficiency of the company. Especially Lloyd's department. These numbers are worrisome, I said. My voice was firm, despite the fact that I spoke through a voice modulator. The Eastern Division has been operating at a loss of 40% for 3 consecutive quarters. One of the council members stammered, but this department is headed by Lloyd. He is very well connected. I don't care who he's associated with, even if it's the president. This is a business, not a country of clubs. The changes will be implemented immediately after the meeting. I disconnected the secure connection in my private office across town and called Eric. How did it go? He asked. How to watch the dominoes fall. They are scared by the mysterious new owner. No one guesses that this is a girl they've been watching for years. My phone was vibrating. Another message from Ava. I ignored him. Your sister doesn't give up, Eric said. She came into the restaurant, asked questions. Let him ask. I have enough problems as it is. I opened Lloyd's corporate email on my laptop. My dear brother has just sent a complaint to the department about the new management. He says that the changes are unfair and directed specifically against him. Does it really matter? I forwarded the letter to my legal team. He has never had to justify his position, and now he will have to actually work. The office door opened, and Eric came in, ending our call. He handed me a paper bag. I thought you might need lunch, my hero. I pulled a sandwich out of the bag. How did you get past the guards? I know some people too, he grinned, sitting down opposite. Your mother called the restaurant again. She's worried about you, says you don't answer to anyone. I'm busy running a company, I replied, taking a bite of a sandwich. And what should I really say? Sorry, I couldn't answer the phone. I was busy destroying Lloyd's cozy position. Maybe tell them the truth. I almost choked. Yes, of course, considering how they took Ava's discovery. Eric shifted his position, looking somewhat uncomfortable. Ava doesn't just ask questions, but she started threatening. What threats? I laughed, but there was no mirth in my laughter. Ottawa Classics are always trying to control the situation. The phone rang, this time Lloyd's. Against my better judgment, I answered by turning on the speakerphone. Kara. His voice sounded excited. You have to help me. Everything collapses at work. What do you mean by that? This new investor. They are implementing all these changes to evaluate the effectiveness of audit requirements, saying that my department is not profitable enough. I caught Eric's eye as I answered. Isn't it just business? You don't understand. Lloyd barked. I've worked hard to get to where I am now. And you? What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I kept my tone calm. I'm sure you can handle it. Is that all you can say? He was almost screaming now. God, you're useless. No wonder you can't find a real job. I ended the call, my hand shaking with rage. Are you okay? Eric asked quietly. Perfect. I opened the organizational chart of the company. In fact, I think it's time for the second stage. Lloyd's department needs a complete restructuring, starting with a new direct manager. Kara, don't. I raised my hand. Don't tell me I'm going too far. You've heard him, you've seen how they treat me, all of them. Eric got up and went to the window. I just don't want you to lose yourself in this revenge game. I'm not losing myself, I said, starting to type. I finally find myself. The phone rang again. Family group mailing list. This time, my mother has arranged an urgent family dinner for tomorrow night to discuss Kara's disturbing behavior. Great time, I muttered, showing Eric the text. You're not going to go, are you? Of course I'll go, I smiled, opening the review of Lloyd's performance. In fact, tomorrow night will be perfect for a few revelations. Be careful, Eric warned. Once you tell them everything, there's no turning back. All right. I sent a memorandum on restructuring because I was tired of backing down. It's time to move forward. As if on cue, my phone lit up with notifications and reached Lloyd's department. Tomorrow, he will come to work and find that his whole world has changed, and tomorrow night at dinner, he will find out why. I looked at Eric. Do you want to be my companion for a family dinner? He sighed, but smiled. Someone has to stop you from burning everything to the ground. Oh, I'm not burning anything, I said, getting up. I'm just finally letting them see the fire. I watched through the CCTV system as Lloyd ran into the lobby of Clayton Corp. His face was red with rage. His new supervisor, Sarah, whom I had chosen, was standing quietly at the front desk. This is absurd. Lloyd loudly threw a stack of papers on the table. I won't be filling out performance improvement forms. Do you know who I am? Sarah adjusted her glasses. Your quarterly results speak for themselves, Mr. Burns. The new management requires that all underperforming units undergo a review. Insufficiently effective. His voice faltered. I cited Anderson's account just a month ago, which brought us losses due to poorly conducted negotiations, Sarah replied, handing him another form. The new owner was very specific about the responsibility. My office phone rang. Eric, your brother is making a scene, he said. Security called me because they know we're friends. They are wondering if they should interfere. Let him dig himself a hole. I switched the view to the cameras to follow Lloyd's tantrum. How are things at the restaurant? Your mother is here with Sava. They're planning something for dinner tonight. I looked at my watch. The family dinner was 6 hours away. Any clues as to what they're up to? They mentioned some kind of intervention. And your father's lawyer was here too. Great, they're playing into my hands. I noticed a commotion on the security camera. Lloyd was now shouting at his entire team. This is sabotage, he pointed to the performance indicator screen in their conference room. Someone is manipulating these numbers to smear me. The numbers are accurate, Sarah replied calmly, her voice carried throughout the room. Do you want to discuss them with the owner? I can arrange a video call. Lloyd's face paled. Is the owner available? Of course, he is very involved. Sarah grabbed the phone. Connect you now. I reached for my protected line, ready to change my voice, but Lloyd backed off. No, it's not necessary. Me. I'll take care of these forms. A wise decision, Sarah said, returning to her work. I turned off the broadcast just when a message from a friend came to my personal phone. I hope you're ready for tonight. It's time to face reality, little sister. Eric's voice came over the office line. You're playing a dangerous game, Kara. No more dangerous than the one they've been playing for years. I started to pack my things. The board meeting will start in an hour. The main item on the agenda will be a review of Lloyd's performance, and after that, I'm going home to change for dinner. I smiled at my reflection in the office window. It's time to get dressed for battle. I'll pick you up at 7, Eric said. Try not to start wars until then. The board meeting went even better than I had hoped. Through an anonymous video link, I watched as Lloyd's performance indicators were put on public display. The members of the council shifted uneasily on the spot when years of preferential treatment and financial losses were exposed. This can't go on, I said through the modulator. Or he will dramatically improve the results over the next month. Or we'll have to consider other options. But his father. One of the council members began. His father is not a major shareholder, I interrupted. I am. I expect results, not excuses. After the meeting, I went home to get ready for dinner. My phone was full of messages. From Lloyd, everything is falling apart, please help me. From Ava, last chance to retreat. From Mom, honey, we're all worried about you. From Dad, we need to discuss your recent behavior. I ignored them all and took my evening outfit out of the closet. Not the designer labels they expected, but a witty, powerful suit bought with my own money. My real money. Eric arrived at 7 sharp, looking nervous. Is it almost done? I went to the bulletin board and took a gift card from a second-hand store, slipping it into my purse. Now it's done. Your sister called the restaurant again, he said as we drove. She's sure you've had some kind of breakdown. Let him think so. I watched the city lights blur outside the window. In a couple of hours, they'll all find out how wrong they were. And then what? I turned to him. Then they'll finally see me. The real me. Not their little sister's charity case. Not a family disappointment. Just me. We drove up to a restaurant, an expensive place that my father had chosen. Through the window, I could see that everyone was already sitting at the table. Mom was nervously playing with her pearl beads, Dad was checking his phone, Ava was whispering insistently. And Lloyd looked like he had aged 10 years in the morning. Last chance to retreat, Eric said softly. I grabbed my purse, feeling the second-hand card inside. No way, the show is just starting. Taking Eric by the arm, I entered the restaurant, ready to turn the world of my family around. Kara, darling, what is he doing here? My mother said with contempt in her voice when Eric pulled out my chair. Eric is my companion, I said, smoothing my jacket, and a successful restaurant manager. Not that you'd ever care to ask. This is a family matter, Ava snapped. We need to discuss your recent actions. Lloyd hadn't taken his eyes off his whiskey since I arrived, his usually perfectly styled hair was tousled. And his designer shirt was rumpled. Yes, let's discuss the actions, calmly opening the menu, as if nothing had happened. How's work going, Lloyd? His head snapped up. You know perfectly well how it is at work. Lloyd. His father warned him, finally putting down the phone. Not now. We're here to talk about your sister's disturbing behavior. The waiter approached, but Eric waved him away, recognizing the tension. My disturbing behavior. I laughed. Please make it clear to me. My mother reached across the table, her expensive bracelets jingling. Dear? Ava told us everything. Secret investments, suspicious meetings. We're worried that you've gotten involved in something illegal. Illegal. I took out my phone and opened my investment portfolio. Are you referring to these perfectly legitimate assets, or perhaps you're referring to my ownership interest in the Clayton Corporation? The color left Lloyd's face. What did you just say? Oh, didn't Ava tell you that part? I turned to my sister. You seemed so knowledgeable about my affairs, surely you mentioned this detail. That's exactly what we're talking about, the father intervened. These delusional statements. I slid the phone across the table. Check the numbers, Dad. You're good with numbers, aren't you? That's what you've always told me, explaining why Lloyd deserves his position more than I deserve a chance. His hand was shaking as he picked up the phone. This? It can't be real. He is, but it is. I took out a gift card from a second-hand store and put it next to the phone. Consider it my return on investment. Stop it, Ava, you're compromising yourself. Really? I turned to Lloyd. How's your performance review going, brother? Sarah thinks your apartment needs a major improvement. Lloyd's glass of whiskey hit the table with a crash. Are you behind this? Why? My mother asked, shifting her gaze between us. For the new owner, he whispered. For the one who made you really work for your success. Yes, it's me, finished for him. Eric squeezed my hand tightly as my father abruptly stood up. This is absurd. I'm calling my lawyer. Sit down, Dad. My voice was like steel. Your lawyer won't help. Everything I did was completely legal, unlike, for example, helping Ava hide assets during her divorce. My mother screamed. Ava's face turned white. How dare you? No, how dare you? I leaned forward. How could you treat me like nothing, like a loser, because I didn't follow your path to success? We tried to help you, my mother begged. By way of ridicule, give me second-hand gift cards, and, laughing at this, I pushed back my chair. Well, while you were all laughing, I was building something. Something more than a position given to Lloyd, more than Ava's marriage money or Dad's connections. Kara, Eric said softly, warning me. I took a deep breath. You know what's funny? I was going to tell you everything tomorrow, but you staged this little intervention. We are your family, my father said. We have a right to worry. Family? I stood up. The family does not humiliate each other. The family does not ignore dreams or make fun of difficulties. The family supports each other. I nodded to Eric, who stood up with me. Where are you going? My mother asked in a panic. We didn't even order. I've lost my appetite, I said, holding up the gift card. But don't worry, I'm sure Lloyd will tell you all about tomorrow's board meeting. After all, his future at Clayton Corporation depends on it. You can't do that, Lloyd said, his voice shaking. I've already done that. I turned to leave, then stopped. And, Ava, those assets that you are hiding, the documents are already on their way to your ex-husband's lawyer. Consider it a gift from a caring sister. As Eric and I were leaving, I heard my mother sob, and my father yell at the waiter, but for the first time in my life. Their reactions didn't matter to me. Are you okay? Eric asked as we approached his car. I looked back at the restaurant window where my family was sitting in shock. It's never been better, I said. But tomorrow will be even more interesting. The real show is just beginning. The Clayton Corporation boardroom was silent as I entered. Her heels clicked on the polished floor. Lloyd was sitting at the far end, his usual confidence replaced by dark circles under his eyes and a mint suit. Good morning, I said, taking my place at the head of the table. Today, without a voice modulator, without hiding behind video calls. Where is the owner? One of the council members asked nervously, looking around. Are you looking at him? I put my briefcase on the table. I think it's time to introduce myself properly. The chairman pushed his chair back. It's a joke, your quarterly figures. A joke, I replied, opening the performance charts. Can we discuss them? The doors of the boardroom burst open, and my father rushed in, accompanied by 2 guards. Sir, you can't, one guard began. It's okay, I waved my hand, letting him stay. He needs to see this. What have you done? My father's face was flushed with anger. You understand that? Are you done with this family? I did exactly what you taught us to do. I pointed to an empty chair. Sit down, Dad. Look at how your son is trying to justify his position on the basis of merit. Lloyd shuffled through the papers with a trembling hand. I have quarterly reports. We've all seen them, I interrupted. They show a systematic failure in leadership, poor decision-making, and dependence on personal connections instead of business acumen. You can't just, my dad started. I can, and I will. I stood up, addressing the board of directors. For years, this company has operated on the basis of nepotism and favoritism. It ends today. Either the divisions show results, or there will be changes. This is revenge, Lloyd whispered, because we didn't treat you the way you wanted. No, I walked around the table. This is a business that you never learned, because everything was given to you on a platter. My phone was vibrating. A message from Eric. Ava's on her way with your mom. Security called. Perfectly, as per the script, the doors opened again, and my mother ran inside. Tears were streaming down her face. Ava was in the back. Stop this madness, my mother begged. We can sort it out as a family. Family. I laughed. You intervened yesterday because you thought I was out of my mind. Now you want to settle everything. Because we didn't know, Ava began. It was you who didn't know. You've never tried to find out. I turned back to the council. Ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for this interruption, but perhaps it is instructive. It is precisely this kind of unprofessional behavior that has been tolerated for too long. Kara, my father's voice has become dangerously low. If you do this, there will be no turning back. Return to what? I projected Lloyd's performance metrics onto the wall. To being a family disappointment, watching Lloyd move up while I was making my way from scratch. We gave you everything, my mother cried. You gave me a second-hand gift card for my 30th birthday. I pulled it out of my jacket pocket and laughed. The council members shifted uneasily as my family drama played out. Mr. Burns, I formally asked Lloyd, either leave voluntarily or go through a 6-month performance improvement plan. Under direct supervision. Your choice. Lloyd looked at our father, then back at me. Would you really do that to your brother? You arranged it for yourself. I sat back down. Your decision. The hall froze in anticipation. Ava grabbed our mother's hand, my father's jaw tightened. Finally Lloyd said, I'll take the improvement plan. A good choice, I nodded to Sarah, who began handing out documents. You will report directly to Sarah starting today. Every decision, every transaction will require her approval. This isn't the end, Ava threatened. In fact, this is the end. I pressed a button on my phone, and security entered the room. Please escort my family outside, except Lloyd. He still has documents that need to be completed. When they were taken out, my mother looked back. Why, Kara, why so? Because you've never seen me, I said quietly. Now you have no choice. The doors closed behind them, leaving Lloyd staring at his improvement plan while the council waited for instructions. Now, I turned to the room. Can we discuss real business? 3 hours later, I was standing at the window of my office, looking at the city below. Eric knocked softly before entering. Your family is gone, he said. Your mother left in tears, your father is threatening lawsuits, and Ava is already calling her per team. Lloyd is still with Sarah. He looked stunned. I nodded, playing with my gift card in my pocket. Was it worth it? Eric asked quietly. I turned to face him. Ask me tomorrow, but looking at your reflection in the window, standing high, finally seen and respected. I already know the answer. The price of revenge may be high, but the price of remaining invisible is even higher. The autumn wind blew over me when I stood at the threshold of my orphanage. The gift card lay heavily in my pocket. Eric squeezed my hand. You don't have to do that, he said. Yes. Need to. I climbed the familiar stairs and rang the doorbell. My mother opened the door, looking somehow smaller than usual. The perfect makeup and jewelry were in place, but something had changed in her eyes. Kara. She stepped back. Me. I didn't expect you to come. Did you ask me? I showed her the text of the message. You said it was important. She led us into the living room, where, to my surprise, only Lloyd was sitting. Neither Ava nor my father was in sight. Where is everyone else? I asked. Dad's in the lawyer's office, Lloyd said. His voice sounded uncertain. She's doing her divorce procedures again. And you're here because... Because? I asked him to be here, my mother said, sitting down. It's time for us to really talk. I remained standing. Nothing to talk about. There's a lot to talk about, Lloyd interrupted. How about how I've actually been learning my job for the first time in the last 3 weeks? It took me by surprise. Sarah is strict, he admitted, but she is fair and knows more about business operations than I have ever tried to learn. My mother was twirling her wedding ring. We've all been studying a little lately. Really? I took out a gift card. What have you learned that we were cruel? She whispered. That we were so carried away with our idea of success that we didn't see yours. Is it too late for this realization? Lloyd stood up. Because I was reviewing the company's financial statements. This time, by really studying them, your management has increased profits by 40% in 3 weeks. It's because I'm really working on my success. I know, he ran his hand through his hair, and I'm starting to understand why you did what you did. Eric, who had been silent before, joined in the conversation. Understanding is not the same as change. No, my mother agreed, but it's a start. She took out an envelope. That's why I asked you here. I took the envelope carefully. There was one photo inside. I'm at my college graduation, standing alone, while the family admired Lloyd's new promotion. I found it while cleaning my desk, she said, and for the first time I really saw it. I saw you standing there, with your honorary cords, your achievements. And none of us paid attention. Mom, my voice faltered. Let me finish. She stood up, smoothing her skirt. I can't change the past. We can't fix the pain we've caused. But I can tell you this. I'm proud of you, not because you outsmarted us all, not because you're successful now, but because you never gave up, even when we gave up. Lloyd cleared his throat. The improvement plan that Sarah assigned me, I'm really learning something. Real things. He hesitated. And I would like to really earn my position this time. I looked at Eric, who nodded slightly. It's not going to be easy, I said. Things can't go back to the way they were. We don't want that, my mother replied. We want to move forward if you let us in. I took out the gift card, examining its cheap plastic surface one last time, then handed it to my mother. Here you go, I said, as a reminder of what we're not going back to. She took it, tears in her eyes. And where are we going forward? It depends. I finally sat down next to Eric. Are you ready to get to know the real me? Not the version you wanted to see, but the one who I really am. Yes, they said in unison. Then let's start with the truth. I leaned forward. All of this. No more masks, no more pretense from all of us. Lloyd. I'll start. I was scared every day at work because I never really studied in my job properly. I go to a therapist, my mother added quietly, trying to understand why I valued appearance over authenticity for so long. I felt something tight in my chest begin to loosen. I've been dating Eric for a few months now, and he's been more supportive than this family has ever been. The truth hung between us, raw and real, necessary. What now? Lloyd asked. I stood up, pulling Eric with me. Now we are building something new, something real, but first. I turned to my mother. I'm having dinner next week. A real dinner, no pretense, no show-off, just an honest conversation. I'd like that, she said softly. When we left, I felt somehow lighter. The revenge that had driven me for so long was turning into something else, not exactly forgiveness, but an opportunity. Sometimes the best revenge. It's not destroying enemies, but making them become better. And sometimes in this process you grow too.